Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really aiming to cut through all the noise, get straight to what actually works. We're digging into a really practical way to get lean, healthy, and importantly, do it without emptying your bank account. We'll be looking at why maybe some common ideas about weight loss might be a bit off track. We're drawing insights from Christine Hronec's Shred on a Budget for Women from Gauge Girl Training. So our mission today is basically to unpack her macro-based approach, focusing on how to make it affordable and actually doable in real life.
Yeah, and what's really valuable about this source, I think, is its sharp focus on body composition. So it's not just about the number on the scale, right? It's about what makes up that weight. Are you losing fat or are you losing muscle you want to keep? And it lays things out really clearly, phase by phase. It's quite a comprehensive guide. But, and this is crucial, the author herself stresses, always check with your doctor before starting any new diet program. That's standard. Good advice. Oh, and also the specific plan. Definitely not for pregnant women. She's very clear on that.
Okay, so, we often hear weight loss is just eat less, move more. Simple as that. And people immediately think, okay, calorie counting, that's the go-to. But what's really striking here is how this source kind of pushes back against that idea. It suggests calorie counting alone might actually be, misleading if you're looking for real body transformation.
That's a really key point. Calorie counting often leads to losing mostly water weight at first. And worse, you can end up losing muscle mass along with fat, which isn't the goal. Christine Hronec's own story is a perfect example. She talks about getting smaller, just counting calories, but she only achieved that, lean muscle definition look at the exact same weight when she switched her focus to counting macros. So it's not just about the amount of energy, it's really about the quality of where that energy comes from.
Right, so calorie counting might not be the whole story. The source points us to macros. Now, that's a term people hear a lot, but maybe they're not totally sure what it means beyond, a health buzzword. How does the source break that down? Why are macros so fundamental for getting that lean look?
Yeah, it simplifies it nicely. Macros is just short for macronutrients. They're the three main building blocks in food that give you calories: protein, carbohydrates, and fat. And they have different energy values. Protein and carbs are both about 4 calories per gram. Fat, though, is much denser, 9 calories per gram. And there's technically a fourth one, alcohol. It's about 7 calories per gram, though it's not essential, obviously. But here's something the source highlights that might make you pause before happy hour: alcohol. It says even one drink can basically stop your body from burning fat for up to 48 hours. Your body burns the alcohol first before it touches your fat stores. So if fat loss is the goal, that's a pretty big deal to keep in mind.
Wow, 48 hours. Okay, that's significant. So this leads to what feels like a really core idea in the program: shifting your mindset, moving beyond just the energy count to the quality of the food.
Precisely. It's about how these different macros influence your body. Think about things like satiety, how full and satisfied you feel, also your metabolic rate, brain function, blood sugar, even fat storage. They're all affected differently. So nutrient-dense foods, like, say, almonds, might have calories, but they also keep you full longer, help stabilize blood sugar, reduce cravings. Whereas nutrient-poor foods, like a lot of processed carbs, can actually mess with your hormones. They can cause insulin spikes, make you crave more food, and kind of shut down those fullness signals. It can lead to overeating. So this macro approach helps you avoid nutrient gaps that can make you feel tired or burnt out. It's about balance.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. It's about working with your body's signals, not just restricting numbers. So we get the why, but how do you actually do it? This isn't just theory, right? The program gives you a structured plan for 42 days. What does that look like?
Absolutely, it's very practical. The Budget Shred is a 42-day plan broken down into 3 distinct 14-day phases: days 1 to 14, 15 to 28, and 29 to 42. And it comes with tools like sample meal calendars and food journals to help you track everything. Makes it much easier to follow.
Okay, 3 phases. And tracking.
Yeah.
You mentioned tracking earlier, not just weight.
Exactly. The source really pushes tracking beyond just the scale number, which, let's be honest, can be misleading sometimes. It recommends weekly measurements. First thing in the morning, after you pee, measure right on the skin. You track your weight, yes, but also waist, smallest part. Hips, largest part of your glutes. Chest under the arms and calves flexed. And thighs, largest part. Taking all those gives you a much better picture of what's actually changing, like losing fat and maybe gaining a bit of muscle. It's way more informative.
That is thorough. Way more than just stepping on a scale. It really paints a picture of body recomposition, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Now, the source makes a pretty bold claim. 80 to 90% of your results come from nutrition. Exercise helps, but it's not the main driver for fat loss specifically. That's
Yeah.
huge. Why such a strong focus on food?
Well, the program is specifically aimed at women who have maybe 25 pounds or less to lose or want a strong start to a longer journey. And the philosophy is rooted in the idea that while exercise is crucial for health, strength, shaping your body absolutely vital, you just can't realistically out-exercise a diet that isn't aligned with fat loss goals. Especially for targeted fat loss and changing your body composition, it really hammers home that the kitchen is where most of that transformation starts. Now, it does recommend pairing the nutrition plan with a suitable training plan, ideally hitting the gym at least 4 times a week to the best results.
Okay, kitchen first.
Yeah.
But what if someone's really active? Or maybe their metabolism is naturally faster or slower? Does the plan account for that? How do you customize it?
It does, and quite clearly. For activity levels, think of it like adjusting your fuel. If you're doing light activity, say burning about 100 calories in 30 minutes, it suggests adding maybe 25 grams of carbs. But if you're doing intense training, burning maybe 450 calories in 30 minutes, you'd add significantly more, around 110 grams of carbs. And the timing matters. It suggests having those extra carbs right after your workout for recovery.
Okay, so it scales with your activity. What about metabolic rate differences?
Yeah, it addresses basal metabolic rate, or BMR, basically your resting metabolism. The plan's kind of optimized for a BMR between 1,400 and 1,700 calories. If yours is higher, say over 1,900, it suggests you might want to increase your macros by about 20%, multiplying by 1.2. If it's lower, like 1,100, 1,200, you might scale back by 20%, multiplying by 0.80. It clarifies these adjustments are optional, but they can definitely affect how quickly you see results. It's about tailoring it to your own body's baseline needs.
Right, personalization. Makes sense.
Yeah.
And then what happens after the 42 days? Does it just end, or is there guidance for what to do next?
No, it doesn't leave you hanging. It gives clear options. You can do what's called a reverse diet, gradually reintroducing macros to find your maintenance level, helping you stabilize your results. Or if you still have more fat to lose, like maybe more than 10 or 15 pounds, you could actually do another 42-day shred cycle. It suggests using the phase 2 macros for a period in between cycles. So it's designed for continuation if needed.
Okay, good. Sustainability is key. Now let's talk about the budget part. That's in the title. And it's often a big hurdle for people wanting to eat healthier. How does this program actually make it affordable?
This is where it gets really clever, I think. It acknowledges that protein is usually the priciest part of the grocery bill. So the program intentionally sets the protein targets at the minimum level needed to support fat loss and hang on to muscle without requiring you to buy massive amounts of expensive cuts. It's about being smart and strategic. And it lists specific budget-friendly protein sources, things like ground beef, ground turkey, whey protein isolate, which can be cost-effective per serving, canned tuna, ham, eggs, egg whites, Greek yogurt, chicken breast, chicken thighs, often cheaper, rotisserie chicken, tilapia, lots of options. For fats, it suggests things like olive oil, some cheese, almonds, nut butter, hummus, and it encourages having pantry staples on hand. Whey protein again, coffee, tea, soy sauce, hot sauce, herbs, white rice, instant oats, things you can buy in larger amounts or find on sale.
That's practical. And it mentions meal prep strategies too, right? Which is crucial for budget and time.
Oh yeah, meal prep is huge here. But it's flexible. You don't have to cook 7 different meals every single day. The idea is to pick maybe 2 menus you like each week and prep components for a few days at a time. And the smoothie freezer bags idea, that's just brilliant. You pre-portion smoothie ingredients. They give examples like tropical berry, daily detox, ginger peach healing into bags and freeze them. They're designed to be roughly equivalent, like around 84 calories, 20 green carbs, 0-gram fat, 1 gram protein, so they're easy swaps. And they last up to 6 months in the freezer. Imagine just grabbing a bag, blending it, saves so much time and reduces food waste too. It's like a gift to your future self.
That smoothie bag idea is genius. I love that. What about some of the actual recipes? Are they complicated or pretty straightforward?
They seem pretty accessible. There's one called Raisin Bread French Toast Casserole. It sounds amazing. Described as moist, high-protein, make-ahead breakfast. Like 260 calories, 36 grams of protein per serving. And it keeps in the fridge for 4 days. Plus, you can use different kinds of bread. Very flexible. Then there's a ramen noodle Asian chicken cabbage salad. That sounds like a great macro-friendly, cheap lunch option. Good tip there is to keep the crunchy noodles and dressing separate until you eat it so it doesn't get soggy. It also mentions things like turkey meatloaf and maple chili glazed pork medallions as ways to cook protein in bulk, which is always smart for budgeting.
That casserole sounds good. So it seems like flexibility is a big theme, even with substitutions. How does that work if you don't have exactly what a recipe calls for?
Yes, Definitely flexible. It provides a detailed substitution guide. Basically, you look up the macro breakdown protein, carbs, fat per ounce of the ingredient you want to swap out. Then you find something else in the charts with a similar macro profile. For example, if you wanted to swap a whole wheat tortilla that has 22 grams of carbs, you'd look for something equivalent, maybe rounding to the nearest 5 or 10 grams using their charts. The source says a little variance is okay, about 10% for carbs and protein, 5% for fats. It gives you the power to adapt based on what you have or what's on sale without derailing your progress.
Okay, that makes it much less intimidating. You're not locked into exact ingredients. Let's quickly hit some common questions.
Mm.
Coffee and tea, are they okay? And the big one, cheat meals.
Right. Coffee and tea, yes, definitely encouraged. But black, no cream, no sugar, no added flavors. As for cheat meals, nope, not during the 42 days. It's pretty strict on that, emphasizing focus for that specific period. What about eating late? The source says timing doesn't really matter for progress, so late night eating isn't inherently bad if it fits your macros. Oh, and the post-workout meal, you just move it to whenever you train. If you don't do weight training on a particular day, you actually skip that meal in phase 1. In phases 2 and 3, it becomes optional even without weights, kind of to help support recovery if you're feeling depleted at lower calories. And one last thing, there's a private Team Gauge Girl Facebook forum mentioned for community support, which can be really helpful.
Got it. No cheat meals, but flexibility in timing and substitutions. So wrapping this up, what we've really explored today is how shifting focus to macros, understanding nutrient quality, and using smart budget-conscious strategies can be incredibly powerful for fat loss.
Sure.
It really moves the goalposts from just weight loss to genuine body recomposition, right? Building that lean look. And it provides a clear, adaptable plan that doesn't require you to spend a fortune.
Exactly. And it leads to a final thought, perhaps. If we accept the source's premise that 80, maybe even 90% of changing your body comes down to nutrition, how could taking that same principle, understanding the quality of your inputs, empower you to look at other areas of your life? Think about it. Where else does the quality of what you put in directly dictate the quality of the output you get? It's an interesting lens to apply beyond just food, isn't it?